What's going on, guys? Austin here at the Sound Room, and today I want to talk about bar chords. How do you build them, and how can you use them every single day? Let's get started. If you're a guitar player, you probably did what everybody does. You learned your open chords first, and those got you by for anywhere from like a year to 10 years, depending on what kind of music you play. But at some point you look at a chart or you're looking at a tab and it requires like a B minor chord or an F sharp minor or any of those sharps, and you have to learn how to play bar chords. They're not easy. They're kind of a rite of passage for guitar players. I'm going to use an electric guitar today because they're a little bit easier to achieve on electric guitar, but it's exactly the same process and the same structure on acoustic. So let's jump right into it. All of our bar chords are going to be based on two open chords that you probably already know. We're going to be dealing with E major and A major. To take it one step further, we're also going to be using the minor versions of those chords as well. So E minor and A minor. So in total, you're going to have 4 bar chord positions that we're going to learn today, and it's going to give you all the major and minor chords in the entire language of music. So let's start with E. When we play an E major, you need to know a couple of things. Number one, your root note of that chord is here. It's the open E string. There are actually 3 strings that are open in this chord. That's the open low E string, the B string, and the high E string. That's why when I take this chord and I just scoot it up 1 fret and I try to do the same thing, that is a chord, but it's not a major chord and it's not a minor chord and it's not what we're looking for. The reason it's not just a major chord is because you didn't take the open strings with you when you moved all 3 of these fingers up. And that's exactly what we're going to do with building bar chords. So what I want you to do is take this E major chord and reshape it. Use all 3 different fingers, 3rd finger, pinky, and middle finger, so that your 1st finger is open and available. Now you can scoot at 1 fret, but you want to bar the fret behind it. So now we've essentially taken a true E major chord and just moved it forward 1 fret. We just took E, scooted it 1/2 step. This chord is F, 1 chord in front of E in the chromatic scale. And you can use this structure all over the neck. If I go 1 more fret, that's an F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and so on until it gets too uncomfortable to play. Every single one of those chords was just based on E major, which is based on the idea of scooting E major up the neck. And you can do the exact same thing with E minor. Let's say you want F sharp minor, which is actually a really common chord, especially in the key of A, but we'll get into that another time. So the first step in this is you want to find the root note. E, F, F sharp right there. Step 2, bar that fret. Step 3, go ahead and build your E major chord. And if you want it to be minor, you're going to take this middle finger off and build essentially what looks just like an E minor chord in front of that bar. F sharp minor. Now, at a certain point, you don't need to continue just scooting that same thing up the neck. It gets a little bit uncomfortable around the C or the D position up here at the 9th and 10th fret, and so we can actually build the same idea, but based on the A major chord. So A major looks like that. And for the purposes of building bar chords, you are going to want to use your middle, 3rd, and pinky to build this chord. This one, it's also important to recognize that there's an open fret here. You're not putting anything on this 1st fret. So when we scoot this forward, we're going to need to retain that gap fret behind our chord, and our bar is way back here. This chord is an A sharp major, or more commonly known as a B flat major. So we're essentially doing the same thing. The idea is exactly the same. You're taking this major chord that is open, that you're familiar with, E major or A major, and you're just scooting it and applying a bar to compensate for where the open strings were. And here's the step-by-step process. Step 1, find the root note of the chord that you need. And let's use a rather complicated example. Let's choose E flat minor. If you saw that in a chart, you might crap your pants a little bit. Step 1, find the root note. G, A, B, C, D, E, E flat. Step 2, determine what string you're on. The root of this E flat is on an A string. It's not on the E string, it's on the A string. So that means the chord that we're going to build in front of this bar needs to be an A chord. Step 3, major or minor. If we want E flat minor, then the A chord we need to build in front of this bar needs to be an A minor chord. There you go. That's E flat minor. It takes time to get used to these 4 positions, and it takes even more time to confidently play them on your instrument and get all these notes clear. But in reality, 4 positions nets you somewhere around 30 different chords, major and minor. Position number 1, major from the E string. Position number 2, minor from the E string. Position 3, major from the A string. This one you can also do like a double bar thing if you want to do that. And position number 4, minor from the A string. And there you have it. That is my system for easily understanding bar chords. It doesn't help you easily implement them. You still have to practice that. But that is really just a muscle thing. Your hands are not used to pressing down in this way, and you just need to try one every day, and eventually it's going to come clean. Some of the most popular bar chords that I still come across every single day: C sharp minor. That's the 6 minor chord in the key of E. F sharp minor. That's the 6 minor chord in the key of A. B minor. The 6 minor in the key of D. Those are probably the 3 most common. The really cool thing is, though, once you master this system in these 4 positions, there's not going to be a major or a minor chord that you can't play. That's it for today. Thanks for sticking around. Like and subscribe if you like this style of teaching. Drop me a comment if you want to see something specific. But see you guys next time. Thanks.